So we'll go to you first, Antoun. You were at The Guardian.
In 2021. It was around the time, I think, when Human Rights Watch and Amnesty had released their reports into Israel being an apartheid state. So we were questioning why we weren't referring to Israel as an apartheid state. As soon as the genocide started in October 2023, I held like mid to senior an editor position in The Guardian, and they refused to grow me. They knew my background. My expertise is the Middle East. I worked and lived there for several years as a journalist. I lived in the US under the Trump administration the first term, and I worked for a think tank called the Middle East Institute, where I was and while I was at The Guardian, I was a non-resident fellow at a think tank on the Middle East. I was literally a Middle East expert in the newsroom.
We don't want to listen to you about any of that, then would we?
No, they didn't want to hear it. So as soon as it started, they took me off one of my job roles, which was presenting videos, and they rejected all of my pitches for analyses. I was doing about 3 hours of work a day. I was getting paid full time. I said to the editor at Guardian Australia, I said, I think you're doing this because I'm an Arab. I think you've sidelined me because I'm an Arab. And their response was, this is a really serious accusation. And I said, well, that is my accusation. And then the open letter came about at the end of 2023, which I wrote, which with about 300 plus Australian journalists from across newsrooms, ABC, SMH, Crikey, and so forth, signed that. The Guardian HQ cracked down, and they just sent an email out saying, do not sign open letters unless you get approval from your senior manager. All the unions kind of got together of the three branches in the US, UK, and Australia. And we pretty much dared our employers, we dare you, and we'll see you in court if you try to impose that on us. And it just froze in place after that, and it's been frozen still. The view of the Guardian editors who are 99% white, that they came to see our backgrounds as liabilities, not as assets that could actually enhance coverage. And I was in Beirut last year, and I emailed the editor-in-chief in the UK, who I know personally, and I said, look, you've got no one here. I am here. There is a war happening in the south. I've got plenty of contacts in the region because I've worked here before. I'm from the region. I don't even need a visa. I'm a Lebanese citizen as well as an Australian citizen. I can, just if you want some work done, I'll do it. They didn't at all. But they sent a white British dude about 6 months later from London to do the work.
God, that's incredible.
So that's The Guardian.
I mean, this is why colonialism doesn't just happen on a battlefield. It happens in newsrooms as well.